Welcome students, welcome to lecture number 15 where we will be continuing with module number 3 under subject indirect taxation. So module number 3 as you know is time and value of supply, where we have already covered what is time of supply, change in the rate of tax, place of supply, and we were seeing the value of supply. So today again we will be continuing with value of supply. So just a quick revision of value of supply before we proceed with the problems. So value of supply, remember students, is covered under section 15. So section 15 subsection 1 says that the value of supply on which GST is to be levied or GST is to be taxed is going to be your transaction value. Now, transaction value is nothing but the value or price that is actually paid or payable by the supplier, by the recipient in respect of the supply of goods or services. Now, the value shall be the transaction value provided only if the supply is between unrelated persons. When I say unrelated means both are should not be, the supplier and recipient should not be related with each other. We have already seen what is the definition of related person. So related persons means they should not be members of the same family, they should not be officers or directors of the same company, they should not be partners of the same firm. A third person should not directly control these two suppliers and the recipient. So all this fall under the definition of related person. So the supply should be between unrelated person, plus price is the sole consideration for supply. When I say sole consideration, that means it is the supply is being made for a monetary consideration, a consideration which is having money value. Okay, so this is what we covered under section 15 subsection 1. Section 15 subsection 2 says what all should be included in the transaction value, and all these five sub clauses should be included. If it is not included in the transaction value, suppose already it is included in the transaction value, you need not include. But if it is not included in the transaction value, this five items you are supposed to include in the transaction value. Let us quickly see what are those items. So this is covered under section 15 subsection 2, clause A, clause 1. Any taxes except this law, any taxes means any type of tax that is charged exception GST Act. So in GST Act, you know there are only four types of taxes that are being charged: CGST, SGST, ITGST, and UTGST. Suppose if these are not charged, if these are charged, then the taxes except GST Act will be charged. So these taxes are included in the transaction value. So these taxes are included in the transaction value. Now incidental expenses. Next, interest, late fee, penalty for delayed payment. For if any delayed payment is made by the recipient, okay, in respect of the money that is supposed to give to the supplier, and supplier charges any interest, late fee, or penalty, that also has to be included in the transaction value. Subsidies directly linked to price, including that excluding that provided by government. So remember, all the subsidies should be included exception government subsidies. Next, section 15 subsection 3 says that exclusions from the transaction value, what all should be excluded? Discounts. Which discounts? Discounts which are given before or at the time of supply and can be linked to the invoice. So such discount should be excluded. Discount given after supply also you can exclude, provided two conditions are satisfied. If such discount was entered into an agreement and ITC was reversed by the recipient in proportion to this particular discount. So if these two conditions are fulfilled, then discount given after supply also can be excluded. Next, in our last class we were seeing problems on value of supply. Today we will continue the same. So I think we had covered first two problems. Now moving ahead to problem number 3. Is the screen visible to everyone? Yes? Yes, students?
It's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so ABC advertisers conceptualized and designed the advertising campaign for a new product launch by New Moon Private Limited for a consideration of 5 lakh rupees. Okay, now ABC advertisers owed 20,000 to one of its vendors in relation to the advertising services provided by it to New Moon Private Limited. Such liability of ABC advertisers was discharged by New Moon Private Limited. New Moon Private Limited delayed the payment of consideration and thus paid 15,000 as interest. Assume the rate of GST as CGST rate 10% and SGST rate 10%. Determine the value of taxable supply made by ABC advertisers. So let in just short, I'll just explain what is the problem. Is ABC advertisers is a service provider and they are providing advertising services for a product that was being launched by New Moon Private Limited. So ABC advertisers, they fixed a price of 5 lakh, okay, for doing the advertising campaign. So ABC advertisers are the service providers. Now there was certain payment, okay, of 20,000 which actually was to be paid by ABC advertisers, but the payment was made by New Moon Private Limited. Okay. Next is new ABC advertisers charged an interest for delayed payment in consideration from New Moon Private Limited of 15,000 rupees as interest. So they're telling find the value of taxable supply. Now, value of taxable supply means on which you are going to charge GST. Okay, so students, tell me first of all, this consideration of 5 lakh rupees is nothing but your service charges, what he is charging, correct? Now, tell me this 20,000, okay, which actually had to be paid by ABC advertisers, but it is paid by New Moon Private Limited. Should it be added to this 5 lakh rupees, or should it be deducted from the 5 lakh rupees, or should it be ignored?
Add it.
Added.
Add.
Yes, students, this 20,000 actually the liability was add. Under which clause can anyone tell me?
Section 2.
Section 15, the subsection
Section 2 clause.
15. Section 15 clause.
Okay.
B.
Next, this 15,000, there was a New Moon Private Limited had to make the payment, okay, within certain period of time, but they delayed the payment. Therefore, ABC advertiser charged them interest of 15,000 rupees. Now, students, tell me this 15,000 rupees, should it be added to the service charges, or what should be the treatment for this 15,000 rupees?
Added, ma'am.
Yes.
Added.
Okay. Under which section?
Section 15, subsection 2,
Section.
section D.
Clause D.
Which clause D. Okay, very good. So just whatever answers is given by you all, I'm just putting into the format of the solution. Okay, so solution is computation of taxable value of supply of goods. Service charges as it is you're writing 5 lakh. Okay, then next add payment made by New Moon Private Limited to the vendor of ABC advertiser. Actually, liability of the supplier is being discharged by the recipient is included in the value in terms of section 15 subsection 2 clause B, that is 20,000 is being added. Next, interest for delay in payment of consideration is again included in the value as per section 15 subsection 2 clause D, that is 15,000. So what is the value of taxable supply? Total value of taxable supply is 5,35,000. Now, to this 5,35,000, on this you are going to charge GST. Students, they are just asking you determine the value of taxable supply in this problem. So your solution ends here itself. Your solution is ending here itself. But suppose if they ask you also calculate the GST amount on the supply, then what you have to do is they have given the CGST rate is 10%, HGST rate is 10%. So you have to just uh, add CGST at the rate of 10%, HGST at the rate of 10%. And I told you GST is always charged on the taxable value or taxable supply. So on file at 35,000, you're going to charge 10%. Similarly, under SGST, you're going to charge 10%. Is this particular problem clear, students? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Is everyone okay? Just remember, students, under value of supply, either in the problem they will ask you this any of these 5 elements, whether to be added, deducted, or exclusions. Apart from this, they can give you something which you have to actually ignore it. They have just given for additional information. So if you know section 15 subsection 1 2 3 clearly, you can solve any problem. Okay, let us move ahead to problem number 4. Okay, compute the value of taxable supply if the contracted value is 10 lakh rupees, and this includes, students, 10 lakh rupees is a contracted value, and this includes means in 10 lakh the below is included. Let us see. Cost of packing 15,000 is already included in 10 lakhs. Okay. Now, students, suppose if cost of packing was not included in 10 lakhs, then what would be the treatment of this 15,000, students?
It should be included.
Yes,
If it was not included.
it should be included. 15,000 should have been added to 10 lakhs if it was not included in 10 lakhs. But already 10 lakhs is including the following amounts. Therefore, you have to not give any treatment to this. Just keep it as nil. Don't give any treatment to this particular 15,000. If it was not included, you would have added this to this 10 lakh rupees. Is this clear? Under section 15, subsection 2, clause C. Next, cost of design and drawing charges 5,000 rupees. Again, this is an additional ancillary and incidental expense. Since it is already included in 10 lakhs, you will ignore it. Cost of preventive packing on customer's request. Again, this is an incidental expense. It is already included, so you need not include it. Next, pre-installation consultation charges, that is 50,000. So again, you need not include, because any charges, incidental charges, that is before the supply or at the time of supply, has to be included. But since in 10 lakh rupees this amount is already included, you will not include it. Next is inspection charges. Again, inspection charges is at the time of supply, therefore you will ignore it. Why? Because it is already included. Suppose if it was not included, you would have added up. Next, trade discount of 2,000 rupees. So students, trade discount is already after considering or including this 10 lakhs, means already the adjustment of trade discount is already made in this 10 lakhs rupees. Therefore, you will ignore. Now, what is trade discount, student? Trade discount is a normal discount that is given at the time or before the supply. So we know if any discount that is given before or at the time of supply, it has to be excluded. But already the effect is given in this 10 lakh rupees. Therefore, you need not give any further treatment to this 2,000 rupees. Next, additional points. Freight charges. Now, with this additional points is not been included, students. Only this following items was included. In additional points, whatever items are there, they are not, for the adjustment is pending, and there is no, it is not included in the 10 lakh rupees. Freight charges of 25,000 is paid by recipient on the behalf of supplier. So tell me, students, what is the treatment of this 25,000 that I need to give? Yes, students? Students?
We have to add, ma'am.
Why? And under which section and which clause, subclause?
Section 15, subsection 2, under clause B, ma'am. It is paid by the.
Very good, very good. Next. Actually to be paid by the supplier, but paid by the recipient. Therefore, you should add it. Very good. I think it is Divya.
Yes,
Shri,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
who is given the answer? Very good.
Yes.
Shri. Next. So the point A is clear. Point B. 30,000 subsidies received from charitable trust, which is adjusted in value. So can you all tell me What treatment you have to give for this 30,000?
Ma'am, it should be added.
It should be added under which clause and which subsection?
Section 15, subsection 2, clause E.
Very good. Next, 20,000 subsidy received from central government adjusted in value. So what you have to do for this particular thing? Just
Adding,
ignore
ma'am.
it, because subsidy received from central government. No, from any subsidy received from government should not be added. Correct?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So whatever we have discussed in the problem, we will just put it in the solution. So solution: computation of taxable value of supply of goods. The contracted value of supply was 10 lakhs. Okay. Items to be included as per section 15 subsection 2: cost of packing, cost of design drawing, cost of preventive packing, installation, consultation charges, inspection charges, and trade discount. All this we have written it as nil, and reason you all know. That reason you all can put in the form of notes, which I will be showing you below how to put it. Next, freight charges, we have added 25,000. Subsidy received from charitable trust, we have added 30,000. So total taxable value of goods is come up to 1 lakh 5. It is come up to 10 lakh 55,000. Okay, students. Now, in this note number 1, what I written, I'll just show you. Note number 1, that is for cost of packing. And note number 1 is for the cost of preventive packing by customer's request. So packing I have considered as that single note. So cost of packing and preventive packing on customer's request shall be included in determining the value of taxable supply. We all know that. As it is already included in the contracted value, hence no further adjustment is required. So that is what we had discussed. So we are just writing down in the form of notes, so that the who is correcting your paper knows that you know actually the concept. Next, note number 2. Amount charged from the recipient for anything done by the supplier before or at the time of delivery of goods shall be included in the value. As it is already included in the contracted value, hence no further adjustment is required. So students, whatever we have discussed verbally, I've just put it down in the form of notes. Note number 3 is regarding the trade discount. So value of supply doesn't include any discount which is given before or at the time of supply if such discount is duly recorded in the invoice issued for such supply. As it is already deducted, hence no adjustment is made. Next, note number 4. Any amount that the supplier is liable to pay in relation to supply but has incurred by the recipient should be included in the value of supply. Since freight charges incurred by the recipient on behalf of the supplier shall form part of taxable value, because this is not included in the value, therefore you are adding it. Next, value of supply includes subsidies directly in relation to price, excluding subsidies received from central government or state government. Therefore, we are adding, include means you have to add. Therefore, we are adding subsidies received from charitable institution and ignoring the subsidies received from the central or state government. So just remember, students, whatever we have discussed, I've just put it in the form of notes, okay, and presented the answer. So is problem number 4 clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
To everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, problem number 5. Okay. Now, selling price of a product sold to Delhi from a dealer of Belagavi. So from Belgavi, a product has been sold to Delhi for rupees 1,50,000, including 12% GST. Means in this 1,50,000 already GST is been included in our thing. I think in module number 2, we have seen what is inclusive GST and what is exclusive GST concept, right? So this 1,50,000 is including GST, but we also know how to remove the GST portion and find the taxable value, right? Okay, now, so this is including GST. So first thing, we know that value of supply should not include the GST amount. So first we have to remove the GST portion. We know there's a formula in which we can find out what is the GST portion in this 1,50,000 that we will be seeing in the solution part. Next, the above selling price does not include the following. Means in this 1,50,000, the below is not included. The below costs are not included. So whether it should be included, whether it should be excluded or ignored, that is going to be answered by you people. Number one, normal secondary packing cost of rupees 6,000. Students, tell me whether this 6,000 has to be included in the selling price or should be deducted from the selling price or should be ignored. Yes, students?
Include it.
Included.
Adding
Okay, under which section?
Section 15,
Under which
subsection.
section?
section 15, subsection 2, the clause C, ma'am.
Very good, students. The 6,000 has to be included. Next, durable and returnable packing of rupees 2,000. Now remember, students, this is very interesting. What is happening here is the dealer of Belgavi is selling to Delhi, but it is a durable and returnable packing, which means what? The benefit is not flowing to the customer. Customer is not getting the benefit. Once customer is receiving the product, he has to unpack the product and return back the packing. So here, if the benefit is not flowing to the customer and the packing is coming back to the supplier, therefore this should not be added. See, students, why I am not adding durable and returnable packing? Because it is a returnable packing which the supplier is getting back and the benefit is not flowing to the customer. Is the customer getting the benefit of keeping the packing with himself? If yes, then it should be added, but it is returned back to the supplier. The supplier is getting back that. So if there is any kind of returnable item or returnable packing, that should be ignored, students. It should not be considered. So did you all understand the logic of durable and returnable packing, students? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, students? Okay. Since it is coming back to the supplier, means supplier is not selling that to the customer, in short. So why, if the customer is not getting benefit of that, why should it be added in the cost to it? It should not be added. Therefore, it is, you have to just ignore this. Next, freight of rupees 4,000. Should freight be included or what should be done with freight? What should be the treatment given to freight? Yes, students? Very good. Cost of special packing. What should be the treatment given to this?
Include, ma'am.
Yes, very good. Insurance charges.
Included.
Very good. Next, the trade discount. That is, I told you, trade discount is a normal practice. Okay, and it is either given before or at the time of supply. Is rupees 20,000. So tell me, trade discount. What you should do with trade discount? Whether you should exclude it or ignore it.
Excluded.
That means you have to deduct it from the selling price. Okay. Now they're telling from the above information, you compute what is the transaction value. Okay. Compute the GST payable. Okay. And comment on IGST. So we'll go step by step in the solution. Already the solution is given by all. We'll just present it. Okay. So computation of taxable value of supply of goods. Now the selling price is 1,50,000 and students, this 1,50,000 is including GST. So the first thing we need to do is remove the GST portion from 1,50,000. So less GST portion. How will we know that in this 1,50,000 what is the amount of GST hidden? So we have seen a formula in module number 2, that is amount inclusive GST divided by 100 plus rate of GST into rate of GST. Here rate of GST is given 12%. So we are just substituting the figures in the formula and getting the GST amount as 16,071. So when you minus this, you will get the selling price exclusive GST. So this is a selling price exclusive GST. So till here, everyone understood the calculation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
students? Okay. Next, add expenses to be included in transaction value. Number one, normal secondary packing cost. So it is 6,000 rupees. Durable and returnable packing. Since benefit is not passed on to the customer, why should he pay for that? Therefore, it is nil. Just ignore it. Either you can write this particular row or just not write also. It is okay. Next, freight is 4,000 rupees. Cost of special packing 10,000 is added, and insurance charges of 1,400 is being added. Okay. Then less expenses to be excluded from transaction value, that is trade discount. You are minusing the trade discount, that is why I'm writing it in brackets. So less 20,000. So when you in this 20,000, you get 1,35,329. Now we have completed the first part of the problem, that is compute the transaction value. So the transaction value is a taxable value, that is 1,35,329. Next, they're telling compute the GST payable. So we have to add IGST. Why IGST? Because from Belgavi the goods are going to Delhi. Belgav, so it is an interstate transaction. When it is interstate transaction, we charge IGST. The rate is already given, that is 12%. Here it is given. So 12% is to always been calculated on the taxable value, on the transaction value. GST is always charged on the transaction value or taxable value. So IGST at the rate of 12%. So 1,35,329 into 12%, you get 16,239. So what is the total amount that the customer of Delhi needs to pay? What is the total invoice value? It will be the transaction value plus the GST value. So the total amount that the customer needs to pay is 1,51,568. Next, what they're telling, comment on IGST. Now, since products are sold from Delhi to since the product is sold to Delhi from a dealer in Belgavi, it is an interstate transaction, and when it is an interstate transaction, IGST is applicable. Okay, so did everyone understand problem number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Is it clear to everyone? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so you all can get the problems on value of supply based on these elements, 5 subclauses or these 2 subclauses under section 15 subsection 3 or 2 section 15 subsection 2 clause, this 5 clauses. So if you know what has to be added, what has to be deducted, then you can solve any problem on value of supply. Now let us move ahead. I told you all in my earlier lecture that there is some section called as section 15 subsection 4, which says that suppose if the sale is between a related person, or suppose price is not a sole consideration, or in case of some notified supply. When I say notified supply, means government has notified XYZ supply that in these supplies the value cannot be the transaction value. Now if value cannot be the transaction value, what should be the value? So in these cases, let us now see what is going to be the value. So the value will be determined as per the CGST rules, value of supply CGST rules. Now let us study these rules. Okay, let us understand these rules. So valuation rules for supply of goods and services. Okay, so there are different rule numbers, students. See, students, rule number 27 is for consideration received partly in cash and partly in kind. When can be the value as a transaction value? When price is a sole consideration, means entire money or value, entire price is received in the form of monetary consideration. Now, if consideration is received partly in cash and partly in kind, we cannot consider the value as transaction value. Remember, students? So we have to follow rule number 27. Now, what does rule number 27 tells us? What is going to be the value? Let us see that ahead. Next, rule number 28 is again when supply is made between related and distinct person, what should be the value is determined as per rule number 28. Supply of goods or services by an agent, what is going to be the value? Cost plus method, residual method under section 30, 31. Now, valuation in case of notified goods and services. As I already told you, government has notified certain goods and services where it says that the value cannot be the transaction value. The value shall be determined as per certain rules. Now, what are those notified goods and services? Like in case of sale of currency notes, or in case of air travel agent, in case of life insurance business, in case of sale of second hand goods, in case of redemption of vouchers, coupons or tokens. So these are certain notified goods or services where the value cannot be the transaction value. And what should be the value? We will see as per the rule that has been defined under the respective rule numbers. So let us go step by step. Let us first understand rule number 27, where consideration is not the sole consideration and consideration is received partly in cash and partly in kind. Okay, so can everyone see the screen? Yes, students? Yes, students? Okay, so now let us understand rule number 27. Remember, students, again I'm repeating, for these rules, transaction value is not the value that we have studied in the section 15, subsection 1, 2, 3. These, under these cases, it is as per the rules that has been defined under the CGST Act. Okay, so consideration received partly in cash and partly in kind. What do you mean by this? Partly in cash and partly in kind. Suppose if any transaction is taking place, the recipient is not paying the complete amount in cash. He's paying half amount in cash and half amount in kind. So let us understand. When I say kind, means it is a non-monetary consideration. It can be either in exchange of certain goods or likewise. Okay, so how are you going to value such amount and how are you going to charge GST on such particular transaction where consideration is not received completely in cash? So students, first thing, when such transaction happens, you have to see the open market value of that particular goods. So first thing, the valuation in such case will be the open market value. Now, what is the meaning of open market value? Means what is the value of that particular commodity in the market. So first of all, you're going to see what is the open market value. Second, if suppose open market value is not available in the market, suppose the value is not available in the market, then what you're going to do is whatever amount he's paid in cash plus whatever amount is in kind, like whatever kind he's giving. What suppose if he's giving in exchange of certain mobile cell phone, so what is the value of that cell phone? You have to remove in monetary value. So that monetary value in kind plus the cash amount, you are going to add it, and that is going to be your total consideration. Third thing, if you're not able to determine by open market value, or if you're not able to determine by adding up the cash and the monetary value of that money, of monetary value in kind, if you're not able to find out, then what is the value of that item, similar item, which is, suppose if you are, what is the value of that goods and services which is equivalent to its like, kind and quality? Means what is the value of the item if the similar item is sold in the market? So what is the value of that? Now suppose if you're not able to find out with these three methods also, then the value will be the as per the cost method or residual method. Cost method is as per rule number 30 and residual method is as per rule number 31, which we will be seeing ahead. So let me just give an example for this particular rule so that this provision clearly sticks into your mind. Okay, so suppose if there is a dealer, okay, who is selling maybe Lays chips. We take very simple example, chips. Okay, now suppose he's selling Lays chips and he's selling to a customer who's part like in bulk, wholesaler. He's selling to a wholesaler in bulk. Okay, and that wholesaler is giving him partly in cash and partly in kind. So instead of like suppose the bulk chips, what he wholesaler, whatever the manufacturer is selling to the wholesaler, he is giving at the cost of suppose 1 lakh rupees, entire bulk of chips. Okay, Lays chips, you get bulk of Lays chips he's giving to the wholesaler, but the wholesaler did not pay the entire 1 lakh rupees in cash. He paid 50,000 in cash. Okay, and remaining he said that I have a farm of potatoes, I give you potatoes. Okay, so half he gave in kind and half he gave in cash. Okay, so in such case, what are you going to value the supply? You're going to value the open market value. Suppose when the chips, those chips are sold in the market, at what value they will be sold in the market. Okay, obviously if that manufacturer is selling to some other wholesaler who is not going to give him potatoes, what is the market value for which he's going to sell those? So it is 1 lakh rupees. So 1 lakh rupees will be the open market value of such supply. Now suppose if the open market value is not available, then what it is going to be is 50,000 whatever cash he's received in cash, that you have to add with the monetary value in kind. So what is the value of potatoes that he is giving to the manufacturer? What is that value in money? That has to be added to 50,000 rupees, and that will be the total consideration. Suppose if the value cannot be determined by these two methods, then what the manufacturer is supposed to do, on what he is supposed to charge GST? What he has to do is, now Lay's chips he's selling to whom? The wholesaler. Now if he's not able to find the value, similar kind of product in the market, he has to see what is the price of those goods. So suppose now Lay's chips and Balaji chips, they are similar. They are not same. They are similar in their kind and quantity. Okay, the quantity also should be same, and in this it has to be same, similar. So now Balaji chips and Lay's chips both are similar, both are chips. Their quantity also should be same. So what this manufacturer has to do, he has to see what is the price of the similar product that he is selling to the wholesaler. So similar product is Balaji chips. He has to see what is the value of Balaji chips. Okay, and that value he should take it as the consideration. But suppose if all these three steps cannot be, you cannot come up or derive to a conclusion of the consideration, then you have to derive the value by using cost plus method or residual method. Now what is cost method and residual method, we will be seeing later. So again I'm repeating, when consideration is received partly in cash or kind, first thing, the value should be the open market value. If the value cannot be the open market value, second, it should be, the consideration should be the cash amount plus you have to add the monetary value of the kind, and then add these two and you will get the total consideration. The third thing, suppose you cannot you are not able to determine as per first point open market value and second point, then it is going to be what is the value of the similar goods or services. Okay, and the fourth thing is, suppose if you cannot determine the above 3 points, then the fourth will, you should use the cost method or residual method. So students, is this rule number clear? Yes students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, let us see a problem on this so that you'll understand it better. Where a new phone is supplied for rupees 20,000 along with the exchange of old phone. See students, what is happening here? A phone is being supplied to a customer for 20,000, but 20,000 is charging because in exchange the customer is giving him old phone. And if the price of the new phone without exchange is 24,000. What is the value of the phone? Now here students, when he's paying 20,000, he's paying 20,000 partly in cash and in exchange of old phone, that is partly in kind, because old phone is not a monetary, he's not giving money, he's giving the amount in kind. So this is a example where the consideration is given partly in cash and partly in kind. Kind means which is not in cash. Okay, so we have seen as per rule number 27 that if the consideration is partly in cash then partly in kind, we have to follow 4 steps. Step number 1 is the value will be the open market value. So let us see if open market value is available. So if the price without the new phone, without the if the price of the new phone without exchange is 24,000, actually the price in the market without exchanging it is 24,000. What is the value of the phone? So obviously the value will be the open market value of the new phone, therefore it will be 24,000. Is this clear, students? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, suppose I'm altering this example. Suppose if the value of the new phone is not given, if 24,000 is not given in the problem, suppose if open market value is not given, then go to point number 2. Point number 2 says that you have to add the value of cash plus the value of old phone. So you have to make the valuation of the old phone, that if I go to sell the old phone, how much value I'm going to get. To that you have to add 20,000. That will be your total consideration. Now suppose we are not able to find out the value of the old phone as well, then can anyone tell me what is going to be the value as per rule number 27? Yes, students? Suppose open market, what is going to be the value?
Ma'am, that has to be compared with a similar product. So what will be the value of that product and that will be affected here.
Correct. Where a new phone means suppose if it is Samsung, so similar product having similar features, okay, similar features and similar uh, elements and all, that new phone, you have to compare it with the other product. And what is the value of that similar product? You have to take the value as the value here, where the consideration is received partly in cash and partly in kind. Now suppose if the value, there is no similar product only for that particular product that is being sold, then what is going to be the value? Then you have to determine the value by the cost method or residual method, and this we will be seeing in the succeeding rules. Now rules, I'm going line wise, students. Now rule 27 we have completed. Now is this particular rule clear? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, students, let me tell you all, majorly in your exam, okay, they will ask you problems on transaction value only, because transaction value is much important, but that doesn't mean you'll ignore this particular rules. You never know, they may ask you this, but majorly they may ask you more questions on the transaction value, that is under section 15 subsection 1, 2 and 3. Okay, this we will study, no doubt we'll study this, but chances of this falling in the exam are little less, but we never know, it is with you. Okay, so next, rule number 28. Now rule number 28 says that if the supply of goods and services is between related and distinct persons, so obviously we cannot take the value as a transaction value, we have to follow rules. So rule 28 says that what is going to be the value if the supply is made between related and distinct person. So again, it is going to be the open market value. Now again, if open market value is not available, then the value of the supply of goods and services of like kind and quality. If the same goods and services, similar kind of goods and services that are sold in the market, what is the value? That is going to be the value of supply of goods and services sold between related persons. But suppose you are not able to determine as per A, B, then you have to determine the value as per rule 30. Rule 30 is cost method and rule 31 is the residual method, which we will be seeing very shortly. So students, what does this say? That the value of supply shall be open market value. If open market value is not available, then the value of goods and services of like kind and quality, if that is not available, then you have to apply rule 30 and 31. Okay, now students, this has to applied in this particular order only. First you have to see for A. If A is not available, then go for B and then go for C. This order should not be changed. Now, provided that where the goods are intended for further supply as such by the recipient, the value shall, at the option of the supplier, be an amount equivalent to 90% of the price charged for the supply of goods of like kind and quality by the recipient to his customer not being a related person. Now students, suppose there is a further sale. Suppose there is a supply between related persons. Suppose Mr. X and Mr. Y are related persons. So Mr. X is selling to Mr. Y. So here Mr. Y is your recipient. Now suppose if the recipient is further selling the goods. So what is happening here? Mr. X is supplier, he is supplying to his related person Mr. Y, and Mr. Y is further selling the goods to some other customer. Okay, so what shall be the value? The value at the option of the supplier who is Mr. X, shall be 90% of the price charged for the supply of goods to his customer. So in short, let me tell you, Mr. X, Mr. Y and Mr. Z is there. Mr. X has sold to Mr. Y and Mr. X and Y are related persons. Now Mr. Y is further selling the goods to some XYZ customer, so to Mr. Z, who is not a related person. So at what value he is selling to Mr. Z, okay, that value is 90%. Suppose if he's selling for, suppose if he's selling the goods for 1,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees, 90% is 900. So 900 can be the value that can be taken by the supplier, that is Mr. X, at his option. This option is given to the supplier that he can take 90% of the value that is charged by the recipient who is further selling the goods to a customer who are not related. So students, is rule number 28 clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the further rules we will be seeing in the succeeding classes, lectures, as we are done with the time. Thank you so much, students.